Hey, what is going on, everybody? We have finally made it. We've made it all the way to the end of our wonderful Infinity War countdown journey. That's right, folks. I have finally seen the movie. It's so awesome that I've completely forgotten how this show works. My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman. I want to welcome you to a very special edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sitdown. That's right, folks. We've been on the Seaman's Infinity War countdown, and today was the day. The Thursday night drop happened. I've gone. I have seen the movie. It's wonderful. It is jaw-dropping at times. It is surprising and fun, and wow, so much to talk about. So much to talk about. I mean, there's so much. I brought a notebook because I didn't want to be the guy with his phone, on opening night. And I mean, granted, I wasn't looking, so there's huge spaces, but just pages and pages and there's so much in this movie. So the way we've been doing these is I've just been talking about everything. But the movie obviously just opened, so tonight we're going to tackle a 5-minute non-spoiler review. So you know the drill. Pull up a chair, take a seat. If you haven't figured it out, folks, we are talking about Avengers Infinity War. Oh man, I had to let this soak in. I was done with the movie around 10-ish, 10:15. And I had to let this sink in for a little bit before I could talk about it. So we're going to start with the bad. This isn't a flawless Marvel film by any means. Start with the bad, end with the good, and remember, no spoilers, guys. Don't talk about spoilers later on in the comments. We want to keep this spoiler-free. I was thinking about doing a spoiler review tonight, but I can't. I got to let it sink in. I need to see it again. And I want everyone to go see this movie before we start talking about it. So no spoilers. 5 minutes on the clock. Look, there are things in this movie that it's going to get ripped on. Because there are people that just don't like the superhero genre dominating the way it does. And to some degree, they're fair, but I don't think any of these things that I am going to mention take a specific draw away from the movie for me. So there's very little storyline in this movie. Thanos gets great character development and has some legit story stuff. But other than that, it is a mostly action movie. I almost kind of explained it as Age of Ultron on steroids, but like the best steroids ever. It's very surfaced. It's very just action-packed. Thrill ride, all of that great stuff, but there's very just little substance to the story. There's tons of great dialogue, and there's tons of great action, and there are some other things in this movie that are great. But if you're looking for a deep story, especially with what the Russo brothers have done in the past, you don't really get one here. Shockingly, as great as the Russo brothers do in sharing time with everybody and making sure we check in everywhere, everyone pretty much getting a big moment or two, there are a few characters in this movie that get shortchanged that were very shocking. I wasn't necessarily actively thinking about it during the movie, but coming out of it, I was like thinking about all the big moments because there's so many, and a couple of these characters, smaller moments than you would have expected. And then, of course, the way the movie ends, with all the theories and everything that's been thrown out there, no one could see this ending coming, that's for sure. No one could see a lot of things that happen in this movie. Marvel did a very good job of not giving away too much. Now, mind you, remember, I only watched the first teaser trailer. I've watched no other trailers, so I got lots of goodies that I wasn't ready for. But from people that I've talked to, there wasn't really too much given out anyway. But the way this movie ends, people are gonna. I can see people that are gonna get on him for this because of how it ends. I can't say anything, but you'll understand it when you see it. And personally, I kind of like it. And I will talk about that when we get to the spoiler review. A little bit down the road after everyone's seen the movie, and I've seen it at least 2 times. But I kind of like it for specific reasons. But I can see a lot of people that are gonna get on this movie. Now, that being said, I enjoyed the crap out of this movie, man. I absolutely love this movie. It is action-packed. It is epic. It just feels massive. And it delivers. It delivers in the ways that you wanted it to deliver. You wanted Thanos to get a storyline. He does. You wanted big action. You get it. And the action is the thing you got to talk about first and foremost because it's amazing. It's some of the best action I think we've seen in Marvel, and a lot of it has to do with the team ups. I love the team ups and the meetups in this movie. The way these guys meet each other, their first interactions with each other, how they team up, who kind of butts heads, who doesn't. And all of that just kind of blends in with the action because when they start working together, it's cool to see them interact and work with each other. And these set pieces are big. It's not necessarily your most typical Marvel action, but you get little tidbits from everybody. Like I said, they really merge the worlds really well. Like when you're meeting a certain group, it has the score from that movie. It has the feel and the vibe of that movie, kind of the tone. You really feel it when you go from Guardians to like Captain America showing up or going to Iron Man. So I like how they do that in the beginning, kind of mix it all up, and it just creates this fun when they team up and get into these kind of battles. Even if they're not the typical battles, they're a ton of fun and loaded with action. And some of our characters are juiced up a little bit in this movie, and all of that is amazing. The CGI visuals are unreal. Some of the best looking stuff, right? I've talked about how Iron Man's kind of become all CG. Whoo, man, this Iron Man, dude. This might be one of my favorite versions of Iron Man as far as look and his suit go. His suit is so dope. Oh, man. I love some of the new add-ons to a couple of the characters as we go through. But the CGI is wonderful. Thanos looks amazing. Like his mocap is just so good. And that's the next thing about this movie that is fantastic. Thanos is a legit bad guy, man. He's got a legit group of cronies. They are big, they are powerful, they are scary, they are deadly, they are dangerous. You feel their threat at all times in this movie. Everything is at stake every time someone is fighting one of these guys. You never know which way it's gonna go. You never know who's gonna do what. And Josh Brolin, man, he brings his A game in this movie. There's a reason you went and cast Josh Brolin to be Thanos the Mad Titan. He brings so much depth to the character. He really acts his butt off in this movie. He's got some touching, kind of softer moments that are just wonderful. On top of just the big, terrifying action. He is unrelenting, just brutal. The brutality of this movie, man, is crazy. And I love the way they use the gauntlet. As he obtains the Infinity Stones, the way he's able to use it and command things. Oh, so much fun with all of that. But like I said, with all the brutality and all the real things that are at stake, this movie is an emotional roller coaster. Like I said, as you meet, everybody, kind of get reintroduced to everybody real quickly because there's really no character development for any of our main characters. It's really just Thanos, which is fine, though. It works so well in this movie. This is what you've been building to something big. You wanted something big and epic. You get it here. But you go on this emotional roller coaster, man. You get to have all this fun as everyone's kind of meeting each other, but you're feeling drama right away. You are scared right away. And with the brutality of what Thanos is and what he does in this movie, there are some major emotional gut punches. And this movie makes you emotional, especially if you've been on this ride for 10 years. We just went on a ride of all 18 in 18 days. But if you take all of that substance, spread it out over the 10 years, man, some of the punches in this movie, they hit you and they hit you hard. And I love that about it. The twists and the turns just keep you on your toes. And there are tons of surprises in this movie. Some are gut punching. They hit you right in the chest. Some are a ton of fun. Some are action-packed, Some are, funny surprises. Some are huge. One in particular is like a giant surprise, and it is wonderful. But they hit you with all kinds of different surprises. They drop all little kinds of treats in there for people that have been on this ride from start to finish, or at least to this finish. And it's crazy, man. Where we leave off, I tell you, it is going to be a long, long road. I saw Kevin Smith tweet after he saw the movie how amazing, how much he loved it. How his legs were shaking. I walked out, man. I had wobbly legs. I was like, dang, man, I understand where you're coming from, Kev. And I also understand what you mean when you say it's going to be a long year to get to Avengers 4 because, man. And then, of course, the biggest surprise of all, make sure you stay to the end of the credits. It's not the typical kind of credit where you get all this kind of cool action motion stuff. It's much more traditional. Don't get freaked out like you're not going to get something. Get to the end, and we get a really, really nice tidbit. Look, that's all I got to say. I definitely went over 5 minutes. But I really can't talk about anything else. If I start talking about anything else, I'm going to spoil something, and I don't want to spoil anything about this movie for anybody. If you are a Marvel fan, if you're a superhero fan, you have to go see this movie. You will walk out of it real happy. Sure, there are going to be people who haven't been on this ride for all 10 years that maybe are just haters, that, just are tired of superhero movies, that are going to get on this movie. It's not, I think the Rotten Tomatoes score right now is at 88. It's not going to be the highest scored movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But if you're a superhero fan, if you're a comic book fan, if you're a Marvel fan, you're going to love this movie. Oh, man. Avengers Infinity War. I can't believe it's come. I'm shook, man. My head is still racing even after calming down. I cannot wait to go see it again. This ride is so worth every penny. It's so worth the 2 hours and 40 minutes, which fly by the way. I mean, this movie is, I came out of this, I was spent, like emotionally, in all the best ways you could be spent. It was not because the movie took too long. It's a 2 hour, 40-minute movie. It flies by, man, because you're sucked into just something awesome. So please go see this movie. So a couple days, once I can figure out how to get through all of these notes, see the movie again till we can talk about everything that there is to talk about this movie. Go see it, enjoy it, talk about it. Go see it with your friends. You're gonna want to come out and talk about it. I went and saw this by myself, as I normally do on opening nights, and it bit, man. I had nobody to talk to. I'm glad I could talk to you guys, even if I can't talk about everything, just in a general sense. So much fun. Go see this movie. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Please, it is your turn. Hit the comments, but remember, no spoilers, guys. Don't drop anything that someone who's come to the non-spoiler page is gonna go, oh, come on. It is possible to get all the way here without having anything spoiled. I mean, I only watched the first teaser trailer and just shut out everything else about this movie. So don't spoil anything, but hit the comments. Let me know what you thought about the movie, how much you enjoyed it. Were there things or elements that you didn't like? How much fun did you have? How was the energy in your crowd? My crowd was on fire, man. We hit every cue. Every cue you're supposed to hit in the movie, man. Cheering, laughing. Everyone just knew what they were doing. Absolutely electric crowd. Saw it in IMAX 3D. I was in the third row, so it was visually just stunning. That's the way to see these kinds of movies, man, because the crowd was on fire. And I also love to see who gets dressed up. We had one person in the Captain America jacket. That was it. Walking out, though, 2 Caps, a Hulk, and a Spider-Man. Love seeing people dress up for opening nights. So yeah, hit the comments. Let me know everything you thought. How was your experience? Because that's what this is, man. This is an experience. It's not necessarily a traditional kind of movie, but man, is it an amazing Marvel experience. It is an epic Marvel experience. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell afterwards so you get alerts every time I drop a new video. I love having new people come by and say hi. So for the people that have been on this ride, man, we've made it to the end, but it ain't over. I'll see this at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 times. I don't know. But it's certainly not over. We got tons to talk about with this movie, so much to get into. We will certainly be doing that as best we can. For the C-Man Cinema Sit-Down, for the end of our Avengers Infinity War countdown, until we get to our spoiler review. Man, it's been a blast. I've had so much fun just watching all 19 of these movies. Be on the lookouts for our rankings, too. I definitely want to break down all 19 and where they fall in my ranking world. But for the C-Man Cinema Sit-Down, I am the C-Man. I am signing off. Peace, babies!